Alright, now, here's a game that basically doesn't exactly tout itself as a roguelike, but does basically have a touch of roguelike features, including permadeath. And people basically tagged it as either roguelike or roguelike in here and for tag, so there's that. A Legionary's Life. Now, unless this is a game that basically I watched a YouTuber called Nukeroom basically play, and, recently there's basically another game called Never Stuck in Rome here. This is basically also made by the same guy, and it's basically another one of these games where basically a legionary or a soldier in Rome. Not much roguelike basically in here, but it probably basically follows the same sort of idea. We have detection roguelike features and stuff like that. Anyhow, I want to basically try this game for a while because I recently got back into Total War Rome Remastered. And this felt like a nice little side, a sideway, slant, so to speak, on, this sort of, genre of gameplay. So yes, it's basically designed by an Alessandro Roberto, developed by him as well. And you're basically gonna get the idea here, I assume, but basically it's a one dev guy and to help. Alright then, so minimal options for video, full screen, stuff like that. Let's jump into it, shall we? A foreword of warning. This game is unlike most RPGs. In general, it is not designed to put you in a situation where the odds are against you unless you willingly step into it. But challenges should be picked carefully based on your legionary strengths and weaknesses. What that's basically telling you is that, it won't necessarily, give you a path that will kill you, but if you take that path, you will die, so to speak. Your character will more or less frequently fail at tasks. That's okay, you can't succeed at everything. Don't get discouraged when that happens. No check in this game is a toss-up. Even though there is a random factor, your odds of success depend on your stats and the difficulty of the task at hand. Combat can be hard at first, but you will get a lot better once you get the hang of it. Please, also remember that the same rules that apply to you also apply to the AI and vice versa. There are help buttons on many screens. They will guide you through your first explorations of a legionary's life. Alright, so, character creation. You basically have physical, balanced, and mental for characters here, so you can basically roll again if you want. And yeah, you can see it's basically sort of balancing it, so these have weaknesses or strengths and stuff like that. If you roll again, stuff like that. You may see emphasize on physical here, by the way, so you can basically have less intellect, charisma, stuff like that. Or not. There we go, so high endurance, low intellect. There's also mental. So high charisma. That'll be leave to a loss of this stuff down here. Quickness. We probably want to be balanced here, so let's see here. That's pretty balanced. A little bit more constitution. That's good enough. Choose a name. I'm of course DFuxa. The First War lasted for over 20 years. Conflict had been only a matter of time, once the relentless expansion of Rome came close to the huge Carthaginian sphere of influence. A young power propelled by a staggering self-confidence, Rome had most of the Italic peninsula under its control at the time. Whoops, I didn't mean to skip that, did I? Save and exit. Can I basically go new game and... Yes, I'll start. See, you lose if I basically do it again, that's fine. So basically all 50 again, let's just go. That's good enough. More or less same stats as before. On the other side was the Punic city of Carthage, a centuries-old naval colossus dominating the western Great Sea. And an instrumental gap in power and prestige seemed to divide the two cities. So this is basically like, following the events of like the Second Punic War. I think it is. Unexpectedly, the Roman Republic emerged victorious, incomplete as the victory was. Building upon its success, the city's maritime territory grew larger and more secure, while humiliating conditions were well beyond the actual extent of the defeat were imposed upon Carthage. So basically, this is like describing the First Punic War. So basically, like, Rome and Carthage went to war in the First Punic War. Rome emerged victorious. Nevertheless, the price was tremendous for both parties. Some say that not even Alexander's conquest devoured so many lives. It all paled compared to what was to come. The truce that followed lasted for a generation. You were a child when the situation hovered on the brink of war once again. You still remember the talk in Rome back then, when everybody expected the looming conflict to take place in the distant colonies of Hispania to the west, now that an attack by sea was nigh impossible. The astonishment when the news reached the city is still fresh in your memory. A bold, not yet 30 Carthaginian general named Hannibal Barca had led an army through the lands of the fierce Gauls and across the mountains to the north. The war was here, in Italia, a few hundred miles from Rome itself. The following years were marked by growing panic as reports of whole armies annihilated by Hannibal kept coming. The Punic general was stronger, smarter than anything Rome had ever faced before. Yet, his attempt to turn the Italic allies on the Republic was unsuccessful. Defeating him in a pitched battle was beyond the realms of possibility. That much was clear to the Romans. At the same time, he could not lay siege to the capital. The conflict turned into an endless war of attrition. Meanwhile, another war was being fought in faraway Hispania, crucial to prevent reinforcements from joining Hannibal. About a year ago, the Roman legions were soundly defeated and their commanders, Proconsul Publius Cornelius Scipio and his brother Gnaeus, were killed. What little remained of the army was now controlling a small patch of land. Even after reinforcements joined the survivors, the situation looked more desperate than ever. When the Centuriate Assembly had appointed a new proconsul, only Scipio's son, a young man still in his 20s, stepped forward. No one else wished to take on such a hopeless assignment. You, on the other hand, had no choice at all. Right after you had come to age, you were enrolled in a freshly raised legion, part of a second, 11,000-strong reinforcement bound to accompany a new proconsul. After a brief training period, you embarked on a long journey to Hispania. Now you've reached your destination and joined what's left of the previous army. Apparently, with the Romans out of the picture, the Carthaginians had divided into 3 large hosts, each of them at least as big as your current force. They are a long way from your headquarters, committed to securing the whole region. So far away from your home that you can hardly comprehend the distance, with little to no chance of ever seeing your family again, deprived of most of the rights you held as a civilian, you feel strangely calm as you prepare to face the hardships to come. Alright, so basically the idea here is that, like, Hannibal's basically invaded, the Roman, mainlands, and you're basically going out to basically, step into Hispania of, Scipio to sort of, cut down his reinforcements and such. Alright, well, let's see here. Basically, this is, divided into, phases, this type of game, where, you're training, and then, sort of, managing yourself, and then, battles and stuff like that come after. So, you have your opinions of, the troops, centurions, proconsul. Here's your virtual, your morale is basically content. So, that's basically all our stats. Here's our character, so apparently our awareness is basically hampered for some reason. Not really sure why. Maybe it's just because it's part of the setting, but whatever. There's our skills basically, so you can see we have 29 in sword, 29 in shield, 26 in javelin. Our secondary skills basically have longsword 26, pole armor 20, and ace mace and 20. To rank, none. You are a simple legionary, one of about 120 in a maniple, a small tactical unit led by 2 centurions. My wage is 122, my fixed cost is -48, and effective pay is 74. Line, I'm in his society, so for those who basically don't know about, like, you know, Roman legionaries and stuff like that, the society were basically young troops that are basically on the front line, and they basically would go in first to sort of like battle stuff, and they like eventually be replaced by principalities basically came after. After the principalities basically came the, like, you know, triarii, and after that basically, you know, there's nothing left. You basically just have the general, and that's about it. So, strength has a direct influence on your damage you deal. Endurance allows you to fight to the best of your ability for longer. Constitution determines your capacity to absorb damage, represented by health points. Quickness makes you, act more frequently. Coordination helps you recover faster and more effectively when you lose stance. Charisma reflects your social skills and personal magnetism. Awareness measures how sharp your senses and instincts are. It's also used in combat when attempting or resisting feints. Intellect represents your logic, decision-making, problem-solving skills, and education. Attribute values highlighted in red areas are being penalized by current equipment. For example, helmets usually reduce your awareness. Okay, so basically being penalized by probably my helmet, which you probably have. So here's the next one. Sword represents your skill level with your main melee weapon. It is also a central component of your many combat actions like attacks, feints, and soft spot attacks. The shield skill is used to determine your chance of successfully defending both melee and ranged attacks. In those rare circumstances where you enter a fight without a shield, a value based on your current weapon skill, quickness, and coordination is used, resulting in a lower defense, especially when fighting in an enclosed space. So basically, you have to, like, you know, you want a shield basically if you want to be defensive, so to speak. Your javelin skill is employed for ranged attacks. You won't use it as often as your melee skills, but your javelins can be devastating weapons in an expert hand. Levels range from 1 to 99. 1 is the level of someone who is completely clueless. 8 denotes a character who knows a few basic notions but has no real practice. 29 is the level of mediocre amateur. 50 represents the average professional, someone who fights for a living and is good enough to survive for quite a while. 71 delineates excellence at a rare level of skill, way above that of an average professional. And 92 means that they're one of the best practitioners of skill, if not the best. All your enemies can meet over the course of this game have been designed with those levels and many shades between them in mind. Besides skills, there are many other factors affecting how successful you are in combat. Morale, stance, fatigue level, weapon handiness, weapon reach, environmental conditions, etc. Alright, well, so yeah, basically, like, you know, there's levels, stuff like that, you gotta keep in mind. Here's our inventory, so yes, we basically have, like, you know, a light Celtic helmet. I don't know why it's a Celtic helmet, but okay. There's a pectoral plate. We got ourselves an italic Xiphos, so basically is our sword. We got the scutum. Ah, yes, the lovely scutum. And 2 javelins. So weapon handiness, we got 51, melee damage 4 to 11, pro damage is 8 to 15, bullseye 7.9. Second action, no action, you know, stuff like that. Click on the slot to view the details and equip item. Right click or swipe on it to access the stash. DP, damage protection, AAR, anti-armor resistance. When the anti-armor value of a weapon is higher than the AAR of an armor, the DP is reduced based on the AAR to AA ratio. Cover represents how difficult it is for an opponent to bypass the armor entirely. A skilled fighter can bypass an opponent's armor more easily, especially when using a soft spot attack. A cover value of 100 cannot be bypassed. So, I don't know by the way your cover does go down if it fights, but you have to watch out for it. Weapon handiness affects all the attack rules involving your weapon skill, normal attacks, soft spot attacks, etc. In general, the higher the better, but if your skills surpass those of your opponents by a wide margin, the effect of handiness becomes increasingly less decisive. When you're closely matched, however, handiness is more likely to make a difference. Melee damage is base damage of your current weapon, combined with your strength. When your chance to hit is extremely low, attacks will succeed only partially. The target will be grazed instead of being hit. So yeah, basically you might hit them, but it will only be a graze. The damage will be reduced by 30% of its value. Weapon skill values above 35% will progressively reduce this possibility. This victim's lack of stance will also make the occurrence more rare. Throw damage to base damage of your javelin combined for strength. Bullseye represents the chance of increasing the damage considerably amount. It depends on your javelin skill. It can't be happen if your chance to hit is more bad than good. Second action, chance of performing a second action combat within the same round. It depends on your quickness and affected by other factors like your current stance, fatigue, and morale. No action, chance of failing to act in a combat round. It depends on your quickness. The lower your quickness, the higher the no action chance. And is affected by other factors like your current stance, fatigue, and morale. So basically, there's a chance that have no action in combat, which is, this is basically one of those like you go, I go sort of games, but at the same time, it's very possible for you to have no action or second action. So a little bit of stuff in there. You can basically right click on stuff to see like where your stash base is. I have nothing, so basically that's like what we own. Same for the other stuff here. Can't change your shield. Alright, here's our deeds, by the way. So wards, you've been awarded no decorations yet. Vanquished enemies, you have never defeated anyone. Alright, so a big part of this game is basically training. So choosing your training, the likelihood of improvement will drop as your skills increase. Skills are of primary importance during combat. Your morale will suffer if you exercise too much, especially in the same group. Javelin, melee, or workouts, even more so if too often your efforts bear no fruit. So yeah, basically you have to get some stuff in order to do stuff basically. Alright, so basically my skills in Javelin are a little bit low, I guess, as well as the polearms and axe and mace, but these are secondary, so I don't really care about those much. I primarily just want to get my Javelin and shield basically up, I think. So we'll start with that. Alright, so as Javelin practice, basically your Javelin can improve. Chance of success depends heavily on your coordination. So coordination is basically 52, so average. Solo practice. Your sword skill has a very high chance of improving, but only when the value is low. So, it's 29, etc. Sparring focus. You can focus your sparring session on either a sword or shield skill. Your chance of improving the focus skill will be 50% higher than normal, although it will have its useful value for your opposite skill. So, sparring anyone. This training can improve your sword and shield skills. Sparring good. This training is a lot more effective than sparring anyone, although it requires that the troop has a pretty high opinion of you. Sparring best. This training is a lot more effective than sparring good, although it requires that the troop has a very high opinion of you. So, probably it's going to be sparring with anyone. This will improve my sword and shield skills. Solo's practice, that's basically right there, and then Javelin practice. So, let's start with sparring, I guess. You spend a lot of time sparring with whoever's available. You're definitely getting better at it. Your shield skill has increased. Okay, so basically I increased my shield skill a little bit, so we can look at this. It's gone up by 1. Hooray! Now note by the way, my time's gonna basically go down basically to do this stuff, so it basically switch over to doing a little bit of Javelin practice. You employ a fair share of your spare time to refine your Javelin throwing skills. You're definitely getting better at it. Your Javelin skill has increased. So basically it goes up to 27. Let's do a little solo practice. You spend a lot of time practicing your swordsmanship against a wooden stake. You're definitely getting better at it, so sword skill increases. So basically 30. Let's throw an arrow like Javelin, I guess. So there it goes up. I'll spar with anyone. You spend a lot of time sparring with whoever is available. Unfortunately, you aren't getting better. So you have overexercise stress basically up here a little bit, I guess. When you exercise too much, this bar will increase. Different colors show different levels of stress. You will slowly lose morale when your stress is too high. Well, we haven't really gone that high, so it's fine. You already train and work out as part of your routine. In order to maintain your combat skills in shape, the exercises you select are extra training and workout sessions used to bring your skills and physical prowess beyond their current levels. You can use each main group of exercise, Javelin, melee, and workout, a couple of times before each main event, with no consequence on stress. If you exercise 5 times in the same group with no improvements, further failures will build up your stress much faster than normal. You can reduce your stress level by using your spare time for activities not related to exercise. So basically it's workouts, buy and sell, other stuff over here, so run, this workout will improve your quickness and endurance, so basically increase your stats. Swim, this improves our coordinated endurance. And just basically increase their strength and constitution. So run. You often go for run to get some extra training. Unfortunately, you aren't getting any better. That's unfortunate, but well, the swim. You often go for a swim to get some extra training. Your commitment is rewarded, so there's some coordination and endurance improvements. Go to the gym. You often spend some time in a gymnasium for some extra training. Your commitment is rewarded, so strength is increased, constitution increased. Let's go for a run. Alright, well now we're getting to the yellow, so it's getting a little bit worse, but well. So choose your workout. The likelihood of improvement will drop as your attributes raise from their starting values. Your morale will suffer if you exercise too much, especially in the same group. Javelin or workouts, even more so if too often your efforts bear no fruit. So we're taking some issues with running, so we'll stop doing that for a little bit. You know, our strength is a little bit low, I guess, and quickness is a little bit low, so oh, look at our went up by like -1 morale there. So you haven't spent time in gymnasium for some extra training, blah blah. Part of your life is spun. Alright, so hold down control to view your actions and skills. You're stuck with an especially aggressive sparring partner this morning. Okay. Decius has been here in Hispania since long before your arrival. He's one of the survivors of the last year's debacle. His blade has come dangerously close to your throat twice already. Even a wooden practice sword can be lethal when it's used like that. Alright, so you can attempt a spectacular counter-strike, complain, or just keep going. Let's just keep going. You try to stand your ground as best you can, but he's too skilled for you. Alright, so we lost the defense, I guess. A quick slash in your sore arm and a thrust to your ribs leave you panting and gasping, so my health was decreased by 7. Okay. Trying hard to shrug off the pain, you keep going till the end of this practice session. Alright, well. Basically, also like a little events that can sort of happen. So we actually took a little bit of health damage there, which is unfortunate. So if you go to character, you can see my health is actually dropped by 7, which is, you know, unfortunate, but well. So you hang around. You might increase the troops' opinion by a teeny amount, depending on your charisma. No matter what, there's always a small chance that your morale will improve. So basically, this will improve your morale. Play dice. You can either win or lose a small amount of money. The troops' opinion may change, usually for the better, although that depends on your charisma. If you win money and improve your relationship with your troop, your morale will increase as well. You play board game. Play board game works like a play dice, but your success largely depends on your intellect. And have fun. You spend 10 denarii and your morale will increase a little. If you use too often, the effect will dampen and your virtue will decrease. So basically, like, you know, miscellaneous stuff. You do extra patrol. Volunteer for an extra patrol duty. Your troops and centurion's opinion may improve, even more so if your charisma is high. There's also risk of an unpleasant random encounter, so basically you might, you know, fight troops. Extra guard. Volunteer for extra guard duty. Your troops and centurion's opinion may improve, even more so, blah blah. Guard duty is very boring though, and your morale may suffer. You have extra coaching. You must be at least an optio or centurion to access the activity. Your troops and centurions or tribunes' opinions may improve, even more so if your charisma is high. Unlike guard duty, there's no loss of morale. Offer sacrifice. A sacrifice is rather expensive, 40 denarii. The lower your intellect, the higher your chance of getting a large morale boost rather than a modest one. So basically, it's for like intellect, like, you know, is a negative for you because you have high intellect and you don't really like believe in like superstition and stuff. You can't use this activity more than once per part. So we'll leave that for a little bit. Let's just go to leisure for now. What's my like character's like charisma, by the way? So we're actually pretty modest in charisma. Well, let's do all like one of each basically here. So let's hang around. You spend a little spare time without doing anything in particular. You just want to relax and rest. Your morale is increased by 1. Your wounds hurt and your recovery feels painfully slow. Your morale is decreased by 5. Oof. So, you know, that sucks. Oh well. Let's play some dice. You frequently pass time playing dice with your comrades. You have gained 2 denarii and opinion of troop is increased by 1. Your morale is increased by 2. Hooray! Morale goes up. Let's play board game. What's my, like, you know, intellect then? Again, it's fairly average, but, you know, we'll still do it one to see, you know, see if we can get some good stuff from it. So, play board game. You frequently pass time playing a game of Latricunli with your comrades. You've gained 1 denarii, so basically got some money, and your opinion of troop is decreased by 1. So yeah, basically go up or down if you're not careful. You have to watch out for that. So, you know, have fun. You have a good time spending some of your hard-earned money in the vicinity of your camp. You have lost Tenari, but increased my morale by 5. Let's just hang around. You spend a little spare time without doing anything in particular. You just want to relax from your last. Part of your life is fun. Okay, what happened? You have known Quintus Lavinus since you were kids. Now, he's the same example as you. You have noticed that he's been acting very nervously as of late. Ask him what's wrong. So basically got a charisma, intellect, and awareness check successful. After a little persuasion, he convinces you to spit. You convince him to spit it out. You remember that Quintus lost his father in the disaster of Cannae about 6 years ago. Then again, there's hardly anyone in Rome who has not lost someone on that grievous day. Your leaders believed that they could crush Cannibal's army by sheer force of numbers. He proved them wrong. The harshest lesson ever taught in living memory. Quintus has been waiting for a chance to fight back for such a long time, and yet now he has the opportunity to, now that his drop is drawing near, his fear of dying in impending battles is prevailing. One can hardly blame him considering that your army has faced disaster on disaster since the war began. After sharing his concerns with you, Quintus looks overly relieved. He thanks you for the talk and goes about his business. So, Bishop goes up, Peter's troops go up. Alright, so time left is basically like half now, but that's fine. Let's just go do some miscellaneous stuff here. So let's try an extra patrol. You volunteer for an extra patrol duty. Alright, so nothing happened. And we didn't really get like an improvement in everything there, but you know, well, it can happen, but whatever, sometimes it doesn't. Let's go for a little extra guard. You volunteer for some boring extra guard duty. Troops basically go up by you, Centurion's opinion goes up by 1. Extra coaching. I can't actually do that because I'm not like Centurion, so... I don't really feel like spending Midas yet, because, you know, it seems a little bit like, you know, early abusing this, so... Let's just do this again. Next patrol. European Centurion has increased by 1, so hooray. And you receive your regular pay, 37 denarii. Part of your life is fun. Scaling walls is part of today's drill. In front of you is a line. A ladder is propped against the camp walls. One by one, the men ahead of you sprint toward it and start climbing. Very soon, it's your turn. How do you approach this? Nonchalant and confident, or careful and concerned? Let's be careful and concerned. Awareness goes down. For a moment, you almost miss a step. Your careful approach has saved you from a dangerous mistake. A few more steps, and you're over wall, unharmed. Hooray! So, let's do a little extra guard. You volunteer for some boring extra guard duty, and morale's decreased by 1. And let's do a little bit more training, I guess, because, you know, we don't have any stress in the moment, so... Again, javelin practice, let's get it up. You employ a fair share of your spare time to refine your javelin throwing skills. You're definitely getting better at it. Your javelin skills increased. Let's do sword practice. So hooray, sword goes up. Let's just spar with anyone. You spend a lot of time sparring with whoever's available. You're definitely getting better at it. Sword goes up by 1. So basically getting a little bit of sword and like stuff here. You employ a fair share of your spare time to refine your javelin throwing skills. You're definitely getting better at it. Your javelin skills increased. So overreaction to stress is basically happening again. So overreaction basically plays into like, you know, guard duty and stuff like that. So let's just do an actually patrol. Well, actually like reduces it. I guess you know. Extra guard. So opinion of troop goes up by 1. Morale increases by 2. Next patrol. Yay! Running out of time, but you know, that's just fine. This is how it goes. We'll do a little more sparring. You spend a lot of time sparring with whoever's available. Unfortunately, you aren't getting better. Oh well. It's time to move on. Time is over. Move on to the next main battle as soon as you're ready. So yeah, you can't do anything else because like you're out of time. Buy and sell. You can either spend your time searching for items to buy or sell your own. Your int and your awareness to a lesser extent will help you find better items of quality. Okay, let's just search. Oh, you don't need time for this. Okay, so good to know. So that's something I'll to do next time, I guess. So let's move on. The camp bursts into activity as a whole army prepares to leave. You march to the south. It doesn't take long for your destination to become apparent. You are bound for New Carthage, the capital of Carthaginian colonies here in Hispania. It's a daring move and very risky. Several days later, you reach your destination and set camp not far from the city. According to Camp Talk, the closest enemy army is about 10 days' march from here. A long siege is out of question. You'll have to take New Carthage by storm. You cast a glance at the city walls. Strong stone walls. The thought of fighting your way up there makes your stomach churn. It's hard not to think that you may be looking at the place where your days will end. Alright, New Carthage, Hispania. So the Roman Legion are basically ready to go. Here's where our character stands. We basically have 32, 30, 30. So basically, like, you know, very low skills. Not sure really increase these stats by a lot, so that's something I have to improve at some point. Well, let's just continue. The next morning, your maniple is among the first to move out of the camp and reach the plain right in front of the city. If what your centurion says is true, the garrison of New Carthage consists of a small mercenary army, possibly 1,000 strong, and of course the city militia. You are taking your place on the battlefield when all of a sudden cries of alarm rise from the ranks. You look ahead with a start. The city gate is wide open. A screaming mass numbering thousands leaves the safety of the walls, quickly closing the gap with your partially deployed first line. So apparently the enemies basically attacking us. Judging by their scant equipment, they must be the militia. The enemy commander wouldn't risk his precious mercenaries like this. Blood pounding in your ears, you get ready to receive them as your first battle of your life engulfs you. So we're gonna fight some militia. When the other side is at the right distance, you prepare to hurl your first javelin. Alright, so I can just throw it into the enemy ranks, or I can basically pick off a specific target. So we're just gonna throw it into the enemy ranks. We're not very good at javelins, so maybe we'll hit something, maybe we won't. Just throw it into the enemy ranks. You decide to play it safe and just hurl the javelin in the general direction of the hostile troops. What an embarrassing throw. Let's hope no one has noticed your pathetic attempt. So basically, like, you know, our opinion of the troops go down, decreases, like, you know, morale as well, because we're not very good at it. As the other side gets closer and closer, you steel yourself for the incoming fight. Alright, so basically it's like the sort of like the battle portion of this game. So basically, like, you know, we're basically here on like this side, there's a militiaman on this side. So you basically throw another javelin at him, or you basically close in. So close in. Engage in melee combat, you may want to adjust your attitude before continuing. And javelin. Success. So there we go. Success, health damage. Failure, attacker stance reduced by 10 to 20. If the quick check against the opponent fails, fatigue cost free. Indicators: H, chance to wound the opponent, U, chance to render the opponent's shield unusable. So basically the idea is, like, you know, you can throw a javelin to sort of, like, you know, try and wound the opponent, but, you know, it's very, like, low our chance here. That's like maybe like 40%, so we're just gonna close in, I think. So attitude. An aggressive attitude makes your attacks more likely to succeed, but your defense becomes less effective. The opposite is true for a defensive attitude. Your morale may drop if you're defensive for too long, but it's often a price worth paying for increased survivability. So basically, like, you know, if you want to be aggressive, you can like take this guy out, like, you know, aggressively. If you want to be defensive, then, like, you know, you can basically do it, but you're just gonna hurt morale. Let's close in. Round 1. Okay, so attack head missed. You can hover your mouse over any element of the combat UI to view its tooltip. For example, each selected action contains a tooltip explaining what it does. Further details are inside the in-game manual, blah blah. So this is like telling us what to do. Every time it's your turn to act, you can choose several actions. Each action, aside from those open in a submenu, has one or more indicators. The first one usually represents your chance to hit. The second indicator can have a different meanings depending on the action. For each indicator, the chance of success is represented by a circular icon with a gladius. A full icon corresponds to the 100% chance of success. Similarly, an empty icon corresponds to 0% chance of success. In between these extremes, different fill amounts represent different probabilities. So, you know, basically, like, a chance of, like, success, like, you know, depends, like, you know, how, like, full this basically is. For example, when the icon is half full, the chance of success is 50%. This represents 65%, and this is like 20% chance, and so on. In the heat of combat, these icons represent our Legionary's level of confidence about his next move. The chance of success used by the actual roll is applied to the icon and determines its appearance. Always keep an eye on your stance. When it's not full, you are more open to attack, and your own strikes are more easily averted. You also become slower to act. The lower your stance, the worse it gets. This is true for the enemy too. Any rule that applies to you also applies to the opponent. So basically, like, you know, the more stance basically lowers, the easier it is to hit, basically. And you can, like, you know, less able to basically hit us. Stance can be quickly regained through recover action. The success rate depends on your coordination. Fatigue will slowly build up depending on your actions and endurance. When the circle is full, your fatigue level will increase by 1 level. There are 3 levels of exhaustion, exhausted being the worst. So if you play like Rome Total War, basically you know how like your guy goes from like, you know, fresh to like exhausted. This is what you must want to avoid. So if you become exhausted before your enemy, you will be in trouble. Successful hits on limits increases the victim's fatigue according to the damage received. In pitched battles, you are rotated regularly, and fatigue is a minor concern. There are a number of situations where it's more relevant though. For example, when facing an opponent in single combat, or if you are in a Centurion and must hold the line for longer than a troop. So basically, like, you know, the idea here is like you're gonna get like, you know, rotate in and out of combat, but you know, you're still gonna have to basically do battles and stuff like that. The attitude bar is the extreme tactical importance. A defensive attitude sacrifices offense for defense, and aggressive attitudes does the opposite, increasing your chance of hit and making you more vulnerable at the same time. If you frequently maintain an offensive attitude, you might slowly lose morale. Sometimes this is a cheap price to pay to live and fight in our day. You can change your attitude as often as you like, with no cost. You can click on a character on the combat UI for a detailed screen, showing their values and currently active effects. When an effect is present, you can click on it for further details. Alright, so basically right now we're basically like, you know, fairly good stance. This guy basically like, you know, lost a little bit of his stance. So yeah, basically like, you know, it went down. And basically this here, so you know, health top red, stance basically top blue, fatigue. That's on the bottom. Going, you know, the militiaman took a little bit of fatigue issues, but that's about it. So shield opens a new menu where you can select your shield, attack. Basically, like, you know, you can attack, feint. Open a new menu where you can select a specific feint. So here's our feints bar. We have like, you know, a quick feint, normal feint, a deft feint. So feint deft. Success stance reduced by 26 to 52. Failure no consequence. S overall chance of full success. P chance of success in primary attack check. C chance to overcome the opponent's resistance. So probably want to do like a quick feint or a normal feint. Not a deft one. Let's do a quick feint here. So he resisted the quick feint and recovered. So, you know, you gotta stance back a little bit. Here's respite, by the way. So respite, success fatigue reduced by 1. Basically, it's, you know, reduces your, like, you know, fatigue if you want. Soft spot. Open new menu where you can select a, you know, you can basically try and like hit your soft spots. So a soft spot attack works like a normal attack, except if your weapon skill has a greater influence to bypass armor chance. This is like kind of useless in this guy because he doesn't really have armor to begin with. He only got like a shield and sword, so not really worth my time. I can basically knock this guy with my shield, so basically it's success for like a knock. Stance reduced by like, you know, basically you reduce your stance. Overall chance of full success, chance of like, you know, stuff. If the action is resisted, only 50% of the stance is lost and applied. The attacker will suffer 50% stance loss applied in this case of failure. So, basically, like, you know, chance of full success, like, you know, it's a little bit low as I do this, but you know, whatever. There's also charge. So basically, you can basically charge them and try and, like, you know, take down their thing a little bit more. Maybe let's want to attack this guy here a little bit. Nope, but like you see, like, you know, all like the attacks basically have like high damage because he doesn't have any armor. But you know, they all have different, like, you know, chance of being hit. So groin low, neck very low, torso decent, arm, you know, it's okay. Head and leg, they're not great. Let's just go for attack to his torso. So I basically lost some stance there because I missed. He tried to attack my head, he missed. Now I'm not sure, but I think these do actually go up a little bit as, like, you know, his stance lowers perhaps, so... I could try and recover, by the way, so... when your character fails 2 attempts in a row, they receive 60%, like, you know, 8% fatigue, 4% tired, size, bonus for each attempt, until they see or try a different action. Besides, success is guaranteed for characters who have not been attacked for a whole round. Displays undisturbed as a success. So basically, I'm trying to recover a lot. I don't really need to recover this yet, so let's just try and knock this guy with my shield. Failed. He recovered. Well, I wasn't disturbed, I guess, so, you know, recovered, I guess. That's just all we can say about that. Now, he's probably going to attack me, so probably don't want to recover, but, you know... Let's just go respite here, I think, a little bit. Oh, failed my respite. He attacked me. Try again. Oh, nothing happened there for a little bit. That's nice. Let's try again. Well, let's try and recover at this point. Yeah, I succeeded. There we go. Alright, you got a second action there, this guy, so basically, like, he's a little bit more quicker than me, I guess. Let's see here. Let's just try a normal fate this time around. It's succeeded, there we go. But you guys recover base back on, because, you know, why not? What's this thing here? I'm not really sure what this basically means, of, like, you know, this is right here, so whatever. Let's just try and attack his torso. Oh, we got hit on finally. Yes, he does take hits, so hooray. Let's just go for a death feint. I failed, oh well. He failed to recover apparently. Okay, basically was attacking him. Let's go for a torso attack. I missed, oh well. And we'll attack him again, why not? Torso! Oh, he succeeded in, like, you know, getting a quick feint off. Let's recover then. And recover again. I like how he recovers and, like, you know. Okay, so basically, like, you know, if he recovers and I do recover right after, I have a better chance of it. That's good to know. Let's try, like, charging him, I guess. Oh! That really hurt his stance. The situation is shifting. You won't be able to keep facing the current enemy much longer. So yeah, basically, like, you know, you can try and kill these guys, by the way, but I mean, you're just more or less trying to survive for the most part, so... Let's go for a normal feint. He's got no stance left. He's getting his stance back fairly quickly, I guess. Let's try and attack his head. Ooh, there's a big hit. Eventually the enemy formation starts breaking apart. Very soon, panic spreads as the wavering turns into a rout. So yeah, basically they attacked us. They didn't really make, you know, much effort against us, but, you know, we survived. So yeah, basically went 19 rounds. The Carthago militia is in disarray. An improvised pursuit is attempted, but your vanguard is stopped at the city gates before it can break in. So, there we go. We basically, like, survived. And our character didn't really take any damage, which is nice. Let's continue. Alright, so, defense, weapons, strength, constitution, we failed. The Centurion beckons to some of your comrades. After a brief talk, they move away from the mantle. You wonder what's going on. The rest of you will storm the city walls. Many ladders are being propped up against the walls, while a constant shower of missiles is rained down from the battlements. The Centurion promised to share a generous portion of his reward should he manage to be the first man over the walls. Do your best to help the Centurion. Do your best to stay alive. Basically, you can, like, you know, help them, or you can actually try to stay alive. So, I know basically it's, like, you know, good to help the Centurion, so let's do that. You were one of the first to push forward to turn to open the way. You stumble, losing speed and balance. Now you make for an easy target. One of the missiles hits you. Your health is decreased by 2. Arm protected 8. You're way too vulnerable here. You're hit again. Your health decreased by 10. The defender's resistance gets more and more reckless with despair. There's no way to reach the top. At least the Centurions notice your efforts. So basically, notice I actually helped them. The cacophony is unbearable. Cries from both enemies and allies blend with your fights of stones and smaller projectiles bouncing all around you. Suddenly, the noise begins to dwindle and fade. You can't believe what you're seeing. Hundreds of Roman legionaries are running along the top of the wall, coming from the north. Now, I believe in this, like, you know, battle, what basically happened was, like, you know, the Romans basically attacked the walls, like, you know, normally, but they actually had a sneak attack where they actually have, like, you know, the Romans basically go around, like, you know, to a side that the Carthaginians weren't defending. And they actually basically, like, you know, basically got on top of the walls where, like, the Carthaginians weren't defending it, and then they, like, you know, took the city that way. How did they get there? Anyhow, the Punics are melting before them, leaving the battlements unguarded. In the end, your allies reach the gate and open it, letting in the bulk of your legions. Alright, so basically, like, you know, that's basically what happens. We're basically in. My character took a couple hits from that, by the way, so I have to watch out for that, but whatever. Let's continue. You follow your maniple into the city streets. Your orders are very clear. Secure the city by killing everything that meets you in the open. Hopefully, nobody will be so ill-considered. Your thoughts are interrupted with a small number of militiamen stand in your way. Alright, well, we got ourselves some more militiamen to deal with, so hooray for that. I mean, I could attack this guy again, but I mean, I prefer this like it was 50%, so let's just close in. Alright, let's see here. We're both in good, like, you know, positions right now, so let's just have a quick feint. He resisted, so we didn't take much damage from that. We'll go for attack here, I guess. Well, this guy's like got very weak stats apparently, so let's go for a torso. I missed, oh well. We'll attack him again. Let's attack his torso. There we go. Failed. Let's attack his torso again. Oof, I missed. Yeah, why not? Let's attack him again. Torso! Missed. Well, even though he's basically like, you know, being attacked, he's still recovered, unfortunately, so well, let's recover. I was undisturbed, apparently, so hooray. Let's recover. Well, I don't want to recover him while he's basically able to attack me, so. Let's go attack, torso. Missed. He missed. Two of your comrades join the fight. Yes, you basically have, like, you know, your comrades basically help you, so. Hooray! Lots of help. Let's recover while they basically do the damage then. Failed. He attacks. He recovers. He attacks him. So now it's basically 3-on-1 here. We're gonna try and recover again. There we go. Alright, well, this is a good time basically to try to shield, I guess, so. Charge! There we go, there's the damage coming. Let's attack him again. We'll go for his head. Let's attack his head again. Oh, I got him! Hooray! You look at the malicious man's lifeless body, quick thoughts flickering through your mind. Elation! After surviving yet another clash, you feel exhilarated with a sense of invincibility. Your morale is increased by 3. And after yelling out orders brings you back down to earth with a bump. You move on. You keep marching along the streets. As is custom, looting is strictly prohibited until the battle is over. Stick to the rules and go ahead to the rally point. Alright, well, let's continue. New Carthage is almost conquered, but 500 mercenaries from the garrison are still holding the citadel. The proconsul is looking for volunteers for an assault on this last bastion. He's throwing in more than double the loot share. These mercenaries are nothing like the military you have been facing until now. They may not be the enemy's best troops, they wouldn't have been left here if they were, but they are still professional soldiers. Only the most experienced legionaries are volunteering. No one would blame you if you backed off. So yeah, this is for the experienced legionaries. This is like a warning, like, you know, back off. After a brief but intense struggle, the garrison surrenders. Alright, let's continue. New Carthage has fallen. For the first time in so many years, a change in the tides of war appears within grasp. Morale increased by 8. You receive your share of the loot. You have gained 120 denarii. Your army has attained an important base of operations. The seized resources will be invaluable for the rest of the campaign. Let's continue. Alright, fighting in a real battle has sharpened your skills. So there goes my sword, shield, and javelin, increasing by 5.